it has been a momento since I have filmed anything. I think I haven't even made that many videos, but it doesn't matter. You know, motherhood is not easy. I thought that filming and vlogging and whatever, all of that would be like super easy, and doing mom at the same time, but it's not. So shout out to women who do, because that shit is hard. But yeah, welcome back. Today I am going to talk about breastfeeding, something I'm super passionate about, and I do breastfeed myself, and it was just Breastfeeding Awareness Month, so I just thought I'd make a video to help give people, you know, some tips and tricks that worked for me. But just so you know, something that works for me might work for everybody. But yeah, I just wanted to film a video of what has helped me. Also, disclaimer, obviously I am not a lactation consultant, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just a breastfeeding mom who's been breastfeeding for 5 months now. But you know, like I said, something that works for me might not work for someone else. And if you're really having a hard time breastfeeding, obviously contact a lactation consultant, a nurse, your doctor, whoever. But yeah, so also wanted to say that just because, you know, I am pro breastfeeding does not mean that I shame people or disagree with people who formula feed. As long as you feed your baby and give them love and kisses and hugs and just feed them, it does not matter how you feed them, as long as you're feeding them. So I'm not against formula feeding. I do breastfeed, so, you know, obviously if someone were to ask me, I would, you know, give them advice in breastfeeding, because I've never formula fed. But I'm not against formula feeding. As long as you feed your baby and love them, it doesn't matter how you feed them. But let's jump into it. So the first things I wanted to talk about are kind of why I chose to breastfeed. So, you know, my mom breastfed me and my sister. My sisters breastfed their babies. Any close friends that I have that have babies have breastfed their babies. So I've always kind of known breastfeeding as a way to feed your baby. Obviously I knew that there was formula, but I've always just known breastfeeding, and so that was kind of like I never really thought that I would formula feed. And then obviously breastfeeding is the most natural form of food source for your infant and for your newborn. And so that was important to me, you know, to have the most natural way. It helps prevent a lot of disease and illnesses in your baby when they're breastfeeding and when they're not breastfeeding. So because of the vitamins and nutrients that they get while they're breastfeeding, helps prevent them from illness down the line, like diabetes and allergies and all of that. I have notes on my phone that I'm going to be looking at, by the way. Also, it's super easy to digest. So obviously, you know, your newborn and your infant's digestive system is not mature 100%, so it's breast milk is super easy on the stomach, which is great. Also, something that's crazy is your milk literally changes as they grow. So the milk that you have and that you produce when your baby is 1 month old is completely different than the milk that you produce when your baby's 12 months old. And I think it literally blows my mind. It also changes, like when your baby is sick, it helps your milk will produce specific vitamins and whatever to help heal your baby quicker. If you're sick, your milk produces more vitamins to help build your baby's immune system to whatever you're sick with. It's just crazy. But yeah, so your body makes milk specifically for your baby. It helps their brain development while they're breastfeeding, and then also while they're not breastfeeding. Those were some reasons like that benefit the baby. But some things that helped benefit me were bonding. So bonding was a super, well, I guess that kind of benefits both of us, but bonding was a super big one for me. I can't explain, you know, what it feels like to breastfeed, but just knowing that my body is providing nutrients and food for him is just like a feeling that I, you know, can't explain. It's such a great feeling, and, you know, no one else can spend that kind of time with him. No one else can do that for him except for me, and so I think that's a good bonding experience for me and him to get that one-on-one time. And like when you're holding your baby and you're feeding them and you're watching them eat, it's literally the best feeling in the world. So bonding was definitely and is definitely a big one for me now. It's super convenient. You can just whip your boobs out wherever you're at, and who gives a shit if people stare at you. It doesn't matter. You're feeding your baby. But I thought I heard something. But yeah, super convenient. It helps burn calories. So I gained a lot of weight when I was pregnant, almost 60 pounds. And I've lost all my baby weight plus a few extra pounds. And I don't think I would have been able to lose all that weight if it wasn't for breastfeeding. It also reduces the risk of postpartum depression, which is something that's super normal, obviously, after pregnancy. But breastfeeding does reduce the risk of it. And then it also delays your period. That was also a big one for me that I'm still like thankful for, because I haven't had my period in over like a year, and I don't even remember what it feels like to have my period, and so I'm like dreading the day that it comes back. But yeah, so it delays your period. But definitely those are the reasons that I have, but definitely the biggest one for me was the bonding. And obviously, like, because it has a lot of nutritional value, but the bonding is definitely the biggest one. You know, moms who breastfeed, I guess, know what I'm talking about, but just the relationship that you have with your baby, whether you breastfeed or not, is amazing. But for me, I feel like, I don't know, we have like a different kind of connection, and I feel like it is because of breastfeeding, and because obviously I'm his mom, and you know, you have a special connection with your mom forever, but breastfeeding has just made our bond so much stronger. But yeah, so those are some of the reasons why I've chose to breastfeed. There's a million other beneficial reasons, but those ones were really important to me. Now I kind of want to talk about, so the first 2 weeks, I would say like 2 to 4 weeks, are super hard. And people would tell me all the time, like, you know, it's painful, it hurts, blah, 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 it'll get better. I never thought my nipples were going to crack. I never thought they were going to bleed. I never thought they would have scabs on them. You know, I was not aware of all of that, and to that degree. But some things that helped me, definitely making sure your baby latches properly, and that's something that in the hospital your lactation consultant and your nurses should help you with, and if they don't, then you need to ask for new ones, because they should help make sure that your baby is latching correctly. Because if your baby doesn't latch correctly, you won't produce milk correctly, and it hurts worse when they don't latch properly. But yeah, so definitely latch properly. Speaking with a lactation consultant in the beginning is so important. She gave me so many she gave me so much advice in the hospital. I don't necessarily remember a lot of it right now, but in the beginning, when it was painful, it was super helpful. They give you like cooling pads that help calm you in the beginning, and all of that. Let me look at my notes because I forgot. Oh yeah, so nipple cream, obviously I'm holding it in my hand. So these are, I have 3 different nipple creams that I've used, and only one of them like was my favorite out of all 3 of them. So this is the first one. This is the Lancino. This is a super popular brand, you know, in pregnancy and infancy in general, but this one was my least favorite. It's super thick, and I just didn't like how thick it was on my nipples, and it would stain all my bras and clothes, and I didn't like this one. I actually use this one now for chapstick, like for myself, and it's a great chapstick. Yeah, but I didn't like it as a nipple cream. This is the second one. This one's called Boob Ease. It's in like an organic nipple balm, and this one was cool, but it didn't really heal my nipples like I thought it was going to. It just kind of helped soothe them in a way, but it didn't really heal the issue that was going on with them. This one right here, and my sister Gemma put me onto this one, and it's great. This was my favorite one. It's called, what is it called? Mother Love Nipple Cream. Oh my god, when I tell you, this stuff healed me, healed my soul, I think. You know, it was great. It is also a paste. They're all pasty, and I think most of them are yellow. but this one is like the thinnest of the three, and it literally healed them. It didn't just soothe them, it didn't just make it more comfortable, it healed the wounds on my nipples. It stopped the cracking and the bleeding. This was my second jar of this one. I went through 2 of them. I don't use it anymore, obviously, because my nipples aren't cracking or bleeding or anything like that, but this stuff, I swear by this. Go buy this and it will heal you. I think they don't sell it at H-E-B. I think they only sell it at Target, but it was great. This is the one of the nipple creams that I highly recommend. Another product that helped me, and my girl Mia bought these for me, and I would have literally never known that these were a thing if it wasn't for her. So shout out to you, Mia, because these saved my life. These are hot and cold compresses that you place on your boobs right here, and you can heat them or you can cool them, but these were super great when my breasts would become engorged. So when you get your milk in, a lot of times you get engorged, and even now I still do get engorged, but it's not as painful. But in the beginning it's super painful because it's new to you, and you know, you've never felt something like that, but your boobs get rock hard and you have to empty them, and sometimes when they're super hard, it's hard to empty them. So the heat or the cooling helps soften the tissue and helps you be able to release the milk more or easier. And so I used these every day probably for a month and a half, and they were amazing. So get you some of these hot and cold compresses. Another thing that helped me heal my nipples was actually my own milk. So the milk is obviously a healing source because it has a lot of vitamins and antioxidants and all of that. And so if you actually, you know, like after your baby eats, squeeze a little bit of milk out and rub it on your nipple and then put the nipple cream on, that was super helpful. Also, kind of like the hot compresses, taking a hot shower and letting hot water run on them helped a lot, and then manually expressing in the shower. So something my lactation consultant taught me in the hospital was how to manually express, and I would do that in the shower once I've had hot water run on them for a while. What else? Yeah, that's all I have for the tips that helped me in the beginning. Some advice, I think the biggest piece of advice that I could give somebody who's breastfeeding is, especially in the beginning, is have supportive people around you. If you know, don't have a supportive spouse or partner or whatever, or supportive parents, or I don't know, but just find you people who can push you through that hard time, because those first 2 to 4 weeks are painful. You're exhausted, you're, you know, irritable, you get frustrated, you have a new baby, you're trying to figure out a million different things, and I totally understand why people start breastfeeding and then stop, because it is hard, and you know, it's not for everybody, and that's fine, and not everyone wants to go through that, and that's okay, and no shame to those moms. You're still amazing moms, but if you do choose to push through, find you people who support you, support groups on Facebook, on Instagram, you know, whatever, but just having someone there to encourage you through that hard time is super important. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about was pumping. So I am a pumping mom. I do work not full-time, I work 3 days a week, but I do have to pump at work. And so pumping, I have a love-hate relationship with pumping, more of like a hate. I don't really enjoy pumping, but it's something that has to be done so that my baby can have milk when I'm not there. But this is the pump that I use. It's the Lancino handheld pump. Also, my sister Gemma, shout out to you, girl, put me on to this pump. I had an electric one in the beginning, but I hated the electric one. It did not, I feel like it didn't pull enough milk. You would spend 20 minutes on the electric pump and I wouldn't get a lot of milk. I can spend 10 minutes on this pump and get like 3 times the amount of milk. So that's why I really like this one. The suction is really great. You can you know, if you want to go this fast, or if you want to, you know, go a little bit slower. It's obviously manual, whatever, and so it was super great, and I love this one. I take this to work, I use this one at work, I use this in public, wherever. You can take it wherever, it's great. But something I also want to talk about with pumping is I have a oversupply of milk, I feel like, and sometimes when my boobs are really full, Lenny can't really eat right away because they're so full that he'll like choke or get too much milk in his mouth. And so I do a lot of times pump before I feed him. And again, this is just super convenient. You know, you don't have to pull out a whole electric pump, plug it in, whatever. But this is what I use, obviously, to pump before I feed him, because I don't want him to choke or whatever. But this is the only kind of pumping utensil I have. I use the little Target bags to store my milk. My friend Paige, okay, so let me tell you, I was storing the milk upright, and my friend Paige told me one time, like, you're supposed to do it flat, and if somebody doesn't know that, store your milk flat in the freezer, like lay it, and so the milk is flat, and then when it's frozen you can like store it. So much easier to store. But yeah, so that's the pump I have. Now I want to talk about nursing bras. So I have 2 nursing bras that I wear, and I think I've bought like 4 different ones. They're all from Target, but I did not wear bras before I was pregnant, so wearing bras was not something I was looking forward to. I hate them. You know, I don't have really big boobs in general, and thankfully my boobs don't get super big when I'm breastfeeding, but I just am not a fan of like underwire and all that shit. So these bras were super great. This is the one that I probably wear the most. It looks like this. It looks like a little training bra from middle school. But it's by the brand AUDEN, Auden, whatever, I don't know. But these are from Target, and this one is great. You put it on and you can literally, it has like a little split in the middle right here, and you just put it on, boop, pull it down, boop, pull it down, and so easy. It feels like you're not wearing a bra. That's why I love this one the most. And if you ask anybody, I never wear shirts anymore because I'm just feeding him all the time. And so this one is super cute and it goes with everything, and it comes in this color. It also comes in gray, like a reddish color, and like a nude color. But I love, love, love this one. And then this one right here, also from Target. I think it's from the same brand, I'm not sure. But this is like a sports bra, and this one rocks my socks too. It is just also super comfortable, don't have any underwire, and you just, you know, unclip, boop, whip it out. And this one's great. I wear this one the most to work. It helps keep them compressed but not like overly. I had another sports bra that I didn't like, and it was just way too tight, and was super uncomfortable. But this one's really great. Let me see what brand it's from. Oh, here. Same brand. AUDEN. I'm a size medium. Just for reference, I'm probably like a small C. But I'm a size medium. This one's great. I tried the underwire ones from Target, and I did not like it. They were uncomfortable. I feel like because they're like stiff and padded, I couldn't like pull it down comfortably. It was just in the way. And so these both are really good for like during the day, when you go out, when you're sleeping, whatever. These are great. Also, nipple pads. I have disposable ones, and I also have ones that, you know, you throw away. And I don't leak too much, but when I do leak, I do wear nipple pads, and they stick really great to these. Don't have any trouble with that. Also, if I don't wear nipple pads, so I realized that this bra like absorbs the milk pretty well and like keeps it from getting into your shirt. This one doesn't really absorb it too much, and anytime I wear this and I leak and I don't have a nipple pad in, obviously it goes to my shirt. But yeah, those are really great and I love them. Really supportive, really comfortable, and great if you're like into that no bra feeling. Okay, one of the last things I wanted to talk about, so when I did go back to work, so I was on maternity leave for like 4 months, and when I went back to work, I was nervous that maybe like my milk supply would lower because he wasn't eating all the time and I was pumping more and whatever. And so I tried this brand. It's called Milky Mama. I found it on Instagram, and they are lactation like supplement stuff, and they're like cookies and brownies, and I tried them and they really be making your milk pop, like it be happening in there. So this is the brownie. I'm not the biggest fan of the brownie. It has like a gritty feeling, but these oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, girl, they're good. And they really do help. I don't eat them too much because, you know, I don't struggle with that, but I have them just in case, you know, I happen to one day lose my milk or something like that. I also have this, this is like a, I don't know, it's not a juice. It does the same thing, you know, it helps produce milk, but in liquid form, and it's like a, yeah, whatever. And they have like different ones, and it's called Lady Leche, and they'll tell you like on the website which ones do what and what you need help with. And this one helps milk production and also helps with colic and gas. So he does get gassy. He did have colic in the beginning, so that's why I picked this one. But yeah, those really do. I did try it for a few days, and I could definitely tell that my milk, that I was producing more milk, and that like when I was pumping, I was able to pump more. Normally I pump like 3 ounces, and when I tried these products, I was pumping like 5 ounces from each breast. Yeah, so those are all the products that I have to talk about, but I did kind of just want to remind women who are breastfeeding or who are formula feeding, again, it does not matter how you feed your baby. It just matters that your baby is fed and that you love your baby, and you know, you're not a shitty mom or less of a mom if you choose not to breastfeed, or if you start breastfeeding and realize that it's not for you. You're still a great mom, and you rock, you kick ass, you're the best mom for your baby. A lot of people have opinions. Even people who breastfeed have encounter people who have opinions about breastfeeding, and sometimes I feel like, you know, people who formula feed or who formula fed their babies like judge people who breastfeed and vice versa, but it really shouldn't matter how somebody feeds their baby. As long as they're being fed and loved and nourished, it doesn't matter. But for those moms who are breastfeeding and who are going through it and who are thinking about giving up, just, you know, push through it. It is hard, but it is so worth it. For the nutritional benefits for your baby, and it's just such a nourishing source of food for your child. And just know that it does get better, and it is hard in the beginning, it is painful, but it gets better, I promise. I've been doing it for 5 months, and it's literally like, I don't even think about it now. It's like so comfortable, doesn't hurt anymore. It's just like a natural thing now, and so it does get better. Find you supportive friends, supportive family, educate yourself, resources, you know, Instagram, Facebook, Google. Obviously I Google so much. I think Google is like a mom's best friend, or a new mom's best friend, because we literally Google everything. But just Googling things, educating yourself, reading about breastfeeding, reading about formula feeding, and then making your own decision at, you know, whatever is best for you and your family and whatever you're comfortable with, is obviously the best thing for your baby. But yeah, guys, so that's it. That's all I have. Those are my tips and my tricks. Maybe I don't have a lot of them, but hopefully I helped somebody. Hopefully I educated somebody on something. But thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure. Hopefully I'll make more videos soon. Who knows, maybe we'll start vlogging more. Maybe I'll make another breastfeeding video in a few months. I don't know. But thanks for watching, guys. You know, I'm really bad at outros. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing filming a video. Do I even make any sense? Who knows? But thanks for watching. I've said that 5 times. Bye.